got this video that kind of went viral of this, white man interviewing these two white women. And I want you to hear what he's asking them, right? But we want to get to the psychological side of this. What is really going through his head when the white women respond to him in this manner? Let's check this out.
Do you think race mixing should be illegal?
What do you mean?
Like mixing races, like a black person, white person having children, like an Asian and a Mexican.
Yeah. Should it be illegal or legal? Should it be legal or illegal?
Illegal.
Oh, no. No.
Why not?
I love my chocolate, man. Everyone loves who they love. I mean.
So you're a mud shark?
Oh, what?
You're a mud shark?
A mud shark is crazy. No.
You said you like chocolate men.
Okay.
So you're a mud shark?
No. I like everybody, but I like my chocolate men.
Wait, why should race mixing be legal if the child is more likely to turn out?
That's a statistic?
Yes.
From what source?
Me looking around.
You looking around?
Yeah.
Very credible, I do have to say.
Now, that guy should feel embarrassed about himself, especially toward the end when old girl just kind of called him out on his stupidity when she asked him what was his source. What he was going to say, 4chan, because these 4chan warriors and who they are, right? So let's get down to really the mindset and why this is really bothering this particular guy. Because I know we hear from the black community's perspective, on what they don't like about those unions. But let's get to really what is really eating him up more than anything else and why he had to sit up there and call them a mud shark. And let me remind you about this. When a person is using shaming tactics, that means they have no leverage. So they try to shame you and use a moral thing against you to get you got in line. Because if he really had leverage, he would not have to shame him. Now, let's get into his head. Now, historically, they have a ownership psychology, meaning that the white man not only owns, the white woman, but he is the protector of the white woman. That's how he always thought. Well, remember, he felt that he owned white women. No different than he felt like he owned us during chattel slavery. So you look at the era of, slavery and Jim Crow, white women was looked at as the symbols of racial purity, and the idea of a black man being with a white woman was framed as pollution or danger to the white supremacy. That's just really how they thought about it. And then, of course, we know about the anti-miscegenation laws. But really, the bottom line of that is this. This threat is not something that has to do with intimacy, but it's symbolic because it represents a collapse, let's say, of racial hierarchy and white male dominance. So when they told him that we like our chocolate, at that moment, he felt low because he realized that I have lost complete control because these women doing whatever they want to do. Now, the second point is the evolutionary sexual jealousy. Now, from an evolutionary standpoint, they say male jealousy is often about genetic legacy, status loss, and competition. They say now, a lot of white men perceive us as black men, particularly the tall, muscular, confident ones, and say as high status sexual rivals, especially due to cultural stereotypes, and say around masculinity and sexual prowess. They're more obsessed with our genitalia than even the white woman is. Now, white women choosing black men, though, activates status anxiety and say the fear of being, let's say, less desirable, let's say, within the sexual hierarchy. So they say the visceral discomfort stems, they say, from insecurity, not logic. They say a white woman choosing a black man makes the white man feel like he's lost male validation, not just interracial attraction. So in that moment, he felt he had lost control of the white woman, and he feels he's not attractive at all because he needs her to validate him. You understand? Hence to why he just hurls off an insult and say, oh, you're a mud shark. You see what I'm saying? Trying to shame them. And that didn't even work. It didn't work because they're oblivious to that now. So them getting with black men the way they're doing it, even though they're doing some foul stuff with the lawsuits and all of that, but they're still out there chasing black men. And black men know that black men don't have to go chase them. They will go chase a black man. They will get their debit card out and start tricking on a black man. They don't have a problem pulling up on a black man and say, hey, I like you. Hey, acting like Fleece Johnson. I like you and I want you. They have no problem being fleece. They don't. Now, some sisters like, I ain't about to run up on no black man doing that. I may give him some choosing signals, but they like, I ain't got time to be playing with no choosing signals. I'm just going to walk up on you and say, hey, I like you and I want you. That's the bottom line. Now, the next step in this piece is about media and cultural imagery. Now, say for decades, the media reinforced the ideal couple as a white man and a white woman, subtly making alternatives taboo outside of their relationship. Now, say black men in the media, of course, has always been villainized, desexualized, and also hypersexualized at the same time. You know what I'm saying? They want to show us in the dress and they'll act like we're trying to touch everything that moves. So when a white woman chooses a black man, it breaks that archetype. They say now in 2025, say the sight, of a confident, attractive brother, with a white woman triggers cultural discomfort in some white men. I would say probably about 90% of them. So the anger often isn't about the black man, but it's about the white man's loss of power, to define desirability. So he don't have no choice on what's desirable no more. He's not controlling the narratives, as you can clearly see. He's not. Okay? From what I see, FBAs are controlling many narratives, and they can't stand that no more. Their mainstream media used to be able to control all the narratives. They can't do it no more. So he don't feel validated through his woman. His woman do what the hell she want. She let him know, hey, I don't want nothing to do with what you got going on. I'm going over here and choose Jerome and them over here. That's what I'm going to choose. And that bothers him. Now, the next point here is the revenge, fantasies and guilt projection. Now, with that, some white men subconsciously feel guilty over the treatment, of black men in this country, and says some men now that are confident, successful, and desirable may activate a revenge anxiety. Now they always talk about revenge, right? They fear if we get in power, we're gonna get some revenge. And say there is an irrational fear that they have, and say that if black men have access to white women, maybe they're getting even. This is within their mind. We're not saying that. And say, the white one becomes a symbol of reparation in the psychological narrative, not a person. So they said this is a projected guilt masquerading as a moral panic or cultural decline. So even though we don't look at no white woman as no reparation, reparations in the form of cash payments, not no white woman, please. But in their minds, they view them as some sort of prize to us, right? And we don't think like that. Definitely. But their issue is I am in decline. You understand? I'm in great decline because I can't control narratives no more. I can't control my woman. Everything I done to the black man, I still have some guilt for. Hence why they always say, I don't have white guilt. Yes, you do. That's why you're saying it. And your woman, not only does your woman choose the black man, but your woman literally wants to be the black woman. Why? Why do your woman literally want to be the black woman? Why is she trying to get the biggest lift she can get? Why is she braiding her hair? Why is she's talking about clock it and all this other stuff that black women are doing? Why is she out there getting every surgery black women are getting, dressing just like black women? Why are they doing that? Because she's not doing all that to attract you, sir. She's copying the black woman so she can try to get the black man, because you don't require all that. That is not even your look and what you got going on. These women will get a black scent or not, but they will literally try to morph themselves into black women to attract the black man, because that's what black men like. There's nothing a black woman is doing that they won't go out and do. If it's a surgery they need to do to compete with black women, they're trying to compete with black women for black men. I'm a firm believer of that. Because no white man is saying, go get your lips like that. No white man is telling you to go speak like black people. No white man is telling you to go dress like black women. Go hang out with the black women and all that. No white man is asking for that. We all know traditionally the Taylor Swift type is what they like. But yet they woman don't want nothing to do with that look. A lot of them. Now, continuing in the in-group loyalty breakdown. Now, some white men see white women dating black men as betrayal. They're betraying their community. Now, they say the mindset is tribal, of course. You're supposed to be with us, not them. It's especially in conservative or white nationalist spaces, is viewed as disloyalty to the race or culture. Now, it said that this is a collective identity fragility, and white identity is so thin for some that is shaken by a romantic decision. So them choosing brothers are literally destroying these guys to the core. It's destroying them. And they don't know what to do about it. They're trying to force their woman to be with them. Let me tell you how bad it is. A lot of these states who have these, draconian type of abortion laws, they have little clauses in there that even if they get violated, you know what I mean? They don't want them aborting the child. They didn't put those laws on the books now and say, oh, it has to go to the states. They didn't do that because black women was aborting too many children. They didn't do that. They did that because of their women. They're trying to stop their women from aborting their children. That's exactly what they're doing. And they look at a lot of these white women today and what they get down and how they chasing brothers. Every time you got a white woman chasing a brother and just salivating over a brother, that destroys their ego. It destroys their complete ego. And think about it from their point of view. They have an $11 trillion wealth gap with black people. They hold the power in this country and a lot of power throughout the world. They can just about do what they want to do. And yet they don't have control over cultural relevancy because black people do. Their women don't desire them like they desire the black man. Because I'm sorry, you don't see them salivating over them like that. Not like how they do the brothers. We all have seen, they like a guy, they like him. Okay, cool. But not the way they act when they with a brother. And then this the thing. Brothers in our spirit and who we are so electrifying that it don't matter what woman it is outside of black women, those women will change. That's why they have that statement, once you go black and never go back, because there is something that black men have that those men of their community don't have. And they try to go back to them like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's not the same. Once they get a taste of seasoning, true seasoning, once they get a taste of soul and true spirit, they like, I don't want to be around this. I don't want to go back to that mayonnaise, unseasoned chicken stuff. I'm not trying to do that. No. Hey, they won't get all black friends. All their friends will be black females. They're going to be everywhere they go. They're going to be with nothing but black people. I've seen it too many times in my own life. I've seen it. And I think today, just to be honest with you, because I got to see, the evolution of a lot of things. I've never seen, just real talk, I've never seen so many white women chasing brothers the way they chase them today. I've never seen that. That's like something completely, and they're the younger they get, the more they're with that. And, in these white enclaves, the only reason some of them getting played is because no brothers is around. Let some brothers come around. They're going to easily say, hey, where the brothers at? Now, of course, we know that's not nothing I'm advocating for. Of course not, because we know the issues with that. But we talking about the psychology of their male, how it literally breaks them down. And when they see a successful black man got his act together, that just threatens them. Forget the women. That threatens them in itself. Even if he with a black woman, that threatens him. You know why that threatens him? because he know all the stuff that's been done to our people, and you still came out successful. You're confident. You looking down on him like, I don't mess with him. You know what I'm saying? And he knows that you got a lot going on. That messes with his whole. And then if you got you a white woman and it's not an ugly one, oh, you literally destroy that man's whole existence just by the sight of you. That's why they love to try to get people like Shannon Sharp and all them sort of things. Because people like Shannon Sharp make big mistakes. You know what I'm saying? There's certain ways there's just certain moves you don't make. Now I get it. You know, at certain levels, it may be easier to them to say, let me trick off a little bit. It's much easier, but you can't do that because think about it, the men. That's the only way they can get at black men. Is they got to try to use their women to do it because they ain't lost control. But even though you're doing all this mess to people like Shannon Sharp and whoever else that you want to do it to, right? Everybody, you're not gonna get everybody. Everybody don't have Shannon Sharp's money. So yeah, it may be high profile trying to get at Shannon Sharp, but the everyday brother that's running around the United States, once again, I'm telling y'all, those women be choosing up on brothers. They do that. They be pushing themselves up on brothers. It's not that the brothers would be like, oh, let me go out there and chase them. No, they push up on the brothers. So to understand that they feel like they done lost power, and this is why they're getting more and more jealous, angry, violent. They dealing with that issue with the black man. Then let's go to the Latinos. The Latinos, and what's the big threat with the Latinos for him and why he's so really 911 about getting the Latino male out of here, for sure, is because the Latino male is outpopulating him. And that's more of a threat to him than anything else because he don't want to be in the minority. You got to understand. He knows really at the end of the day, the Latinos don't like him like that. They just mess with him because it's an end to a means. But if the Latinos get enough numbers to now they don't need him no more, and they can actually start attacking him, they will. Then he's thinking about, if I become a minority, I got to deal with the black people too, because I haven't settled my ancestral beef that I have with them. So I got one group that's trying to just outpopulate me. Then if I become a minority, I'm gonna have a problem with them. Then if I become a minority on top of that, I'm gonna have to deal with the black folk. So man, I gotta hurry up. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in a crazy position, and his woman don't really want to choose him like that no more, because his woman is not even. Look, his woman don't even like the way he got his power. He literally got to wipe people off the face of earth for people to respect him. Brothers got to just spit some game to you, use a mouthpiece, and people like you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be harming nobody. You know that's a lot better for people to like you because of what you say versus you trying to take the lives of thousands of people. That's not a way to build any kind of respect. And he's seeing his whole world crumble, and he don't even know how to stop it. He don't know how to stop it. They just went over there and bombed Iran. You know how they looking at them right now? They said, man, these people, like the world is getting tired of them. The whole Western world, people are tired of them. They literally tumbling down. And what that white woman is doing, because the white woman's smart. She's like, I ain't going down with him. Let me go over here with these brothers, because I see they next anyway. And when I say next, I'm not talking about next as in like the Latinos, y'all next. No, next as in they the next one in line to return back to their original place in the world, going back to the top where we belong anyway. So let me go ahead on and holler at the brothers now. And it's not just the white women. It's women of other groups too. You're going to see that increase a lot more within the next. By 2030, you're going to like, what in the hell happened? Why are so many people shooting at these brothers way more than we ever seen? Look at what you got now. So many people trying to attach themselves to FBA. You're going to see people that's going to freak you out trying to saying they got descendants of slavery and all kind of like, what the hell are you talking about? You're not no black. And they're going to fight you tooth and nail because they want to be attached to black people. Because think about it, has anybody ever want to be attached to us before? Now all these people want to be attached to us now. People in the diaspora didn't even want to be attached. The ones that at least immigrate here. Now everybody wants to be attached to FBAs all of a sudden. Have y'all noticed that? That's not nothing physical. That's spiritual. They see a spiritual shift happening and a new age is being ushered in spiritually before you see it manifest physically. You get me? And that's why you see all these people trying to get with FBA now. Why everybody want to be black now. Everybody want to be getting with brothers, getting with sisters too. Everybody we want to get with us. People see what the deal is, and also the white man see it too. He see his decline. It's happening so fast, he don't know how to stop it. But he can't escape fate. He can't escape fate. But yeah, it's a beautiful time to live, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful, beautiful time to live in. Because you are literally seeing the rise of one and decline of another. Our rise is righteous. And their decline is righteous too. Because look at all what they have done to people. And all the times they've had their rule. No one go be to rule like that forever. And they know that the end is coming. They know. And they just don't know how to stop it.